Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into the Port St. Lucie real estate market as of October 2025, and during this fall market report we'll cover metrics like the median home price, the average sale price, the days on the market, the supply, whether it's a buyer's or seller's market, the price to sale ratios, and then I'll just give you my thoughts of where the market's kind of going, especially in the light of the current interest rates. So if you're a buyer or seller or investor, stay tuned. This one might be for you. Hey, I'm Stephen Kimos, a realtor specializing in new construction in beautiful 78-degree and partly cloudy Port St. Lucie, Florida. And I'm out here at the gazebo, which means it's time for the quarterly market report. And I want to say the bulk of this information comes from Redfin, Rocket Mortgage, Zillow, and the National Association of Realtors. And when you look at these stats, they all say different things. But the direction they're moving, the direction they're pointing is almost always sound. So use this info as a directional read rather than a precise minute-by-minute snapshot. You'll always want to be wary of anybody who says they know exactly where the market's going and precisely how the mortgage rate's going to turn out. You might want to stay away from those people. Look at the general direction that things are going and use that to make your decisions. So what are the median and average sale prices? Well, according to Zillow, the average home value in Port St. Lucie is $385,423, reflecting a decline of about 4 to 4.5% over year. Now, other metrics, Zillow metrics, say that the average value is down 3.4% in some data sets related to tradition and areas west of I-95. Now, during the late summer, Rocket's local market report put the median sold price at $399,835, down 0.2% for the year. See, while both sources have different metrics, the direction's still going the same. So that's what you got to look at. Now, for the broader St. Lucie County, Zillow reports the average home's now valued at $381,892, down 2.9% year over year. So putting all this together, median average values are trending downward 1 to 4% and are at best flattening compared to the peaks of prior years. Now, as far as the average sale price, the median sale price and the average sale price tend to move in tandem unless luxury or low-end sales are really skewing. So it's reasonable to assume that the average sale price is also slightly down within the same margins as the median. The median is kind of the better thing to look at. Now, this is good for buyers and not so good for sellers. But remember, prices soared ridiculously 60% or more during the COVID market. So what we're seeing here is a return to normalcy. With interest rates, the average interest rate throughout history has been about 6.8%. So, we're returning to normalcy. All right, here's where I normally talk about buying or selling in the same market or a disparaging market. What I mean by that is people that are buying and selling in the same market are way less affected by the way prices are moving. So, for example, if the market goes down 5%, the house I'm selling goes down maybe 5%, but the house I want to buy also goes down 5%. So when buying and selling in the same market, it tends to be a bit of a wash. Now, if you are in a market where the homes are selling for, more than a comparable house in the area you're buying, that's a great thing for you. But you have to watch the direction that each market is moving so you can make the best decision that you can at the time. Now, again, if you're buying or selling in the same market, both the houses that you're selling and buying are usually moving in tandem. So they're going in the same direction. Not as much risk there. Okay, let's take a look at the days on the market. Now, Redfin's data from September 2025 indicates homes in Port St. Lucie are taking 95 days to sell. So they're sitting on the market for 95 days, and that's up 83 days from last year. Now, Zillow reports it's taking 53 days. So according to both sources, days in the market are clearly increasing. And they're taking longer to sell than a year ago. Now next let's look at the inventory or month of supply. So Zillow states that there are about 2,400 homes for sale in the Port St. Lucie area as of August 2025. Now the median list to sale ratio is around 0.98%, 1%. That means that homes sell on average about 98.1% of their list price, according to Zillow. So homes are selling for a little bit less than asking price, but not too much less than asking price. Now, this is a good news for buyers because the data shows there's room for negotiation. And good news for sellers because prices aren't just plummeting. So the months of supply data isn't out yet for October 2025, but the National Association of Realtors and Rocket Redfin have the housing supply at just under 6 months. That means if no more houses came on the market, how long would it take for all those houses to be gone? And that's roughly 6 months. Now, anything more than 6 months is considered a buyer's market, and anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. So right now the market supply is balanced, but anecdotally, I would say it's skewing toward a buyer's market. So summarizing this and putting it all together, the change in median home price is down 2 to 4.5% according to multiple sources. The sale to list ratio is 98.1. So sellers are accepting slightly less and giving some discounts. The days on the market are trending upward, 50 to 100 days, depending on the specific market segment. Now, the months of supply are about 6 months and rising, moving toward a more balanced or a buyer's leaning market. And given all this, the market in Port St. Lucie in October will continue to lead toward a buyer's market and a balanced market. More negotiability for buyers and less upward pressure for sellers. So in earlier parts in 2025, some of the sources described Port St. Lucie as a seller's market or transitioning. Now it's firmly planted and moving toward that buyer's market. As for which way it's headed, the tipping point will depend heavily on interest rates, job growth, and income growth, and the broader economic stability. But given the current trends, I believe the market will continue to soften modestly over the next 6 to 12 months. Unless mortgage rates drop significantly or demand suddenly surges, I would say the continued softening, another % or 2 throughout the year in favor of buyers. Now, on top of that, I think we'll see segmenting strength. And what I mean by that is there are so many different micro markets in Florida. There's the family market, the retirement market, the coastal market, the high value market, the new construction market, and the special area market, like special areas like tradition. So some of these market segments will definitely outperform others. Everything is so localized. I think new construction in special areas like tradition may outperform the other markets, while the less updated homes may lag. Areas near better amenities and better neighborhoods will, of course, as usual, have stronger demand and always do better and get slightly higher price growth. And affordability is going to remain constrained. With rates above 6, buyers are paying much more per dollar than they used to. This tends to cap the upside of the market until the rates kind of improve a bit. All right, that wraps up our autumn 2025 Port St. Lucie real estate market update and outlook. And if you found this useful, hit the like button and subscribe so this information gets out to more people. Remember, as always, if you want to talk about the market, the area, or anything real estate related, contact me. My information is right here on the screen and in the description below. Until the next video, bye.